sonda na metade, corpos na firme, perto de outro, cala calado, chur de coração. Vontade passam também de firmar, essa é uma maneira está bom, e uma maneira são de nós dois, e segredo e dito. Sentimento que acerta para de que ele sim, não amor é um paraíso, na novidade é só um sorriso, amigo bom e só um amor. Silêncio na sonda na metade, corpos na firme, perto de outro, cala calado, choro de coração.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk Kizomba. Tonight we're going to be talking about what music should be played at Kizomba events. What music ignites your soul? And I'm going to bring in our main presenter of the evening, Gario, to introduce everybody. My name's Andrea. I'm a teacher, and I dance at a lot of events. Gario.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk Kizomba. This is the Kizomba Community Talk Show coming to you live on Facebook and YouTube. This is a show for dancers, teachers, DJs, promoters, and organizers to share, discuss, debate, and of course, talk about current topics in the Kizomba world. Our show aims to raise awareness amongst the dance community of all the hot topics from the dance floor. No topic is too taboo. We will be talking about all subjects with no exception. You are encouraged to submit your questions and your opinions to the chat and join in this lovely talk. It's more than a conversation. This is your dance, your opinion, and your show. Now, before we start, just some good rules, housekeeping. Guys, we don't want to get personal, if possible, as in negative towards each other on the chat or towards the host and panel. We'd like to keep it sweet, but of course, we're open to some attacks if it's done in the right way. And so long as it's not too personal, we're happy to indulge in a bit of, let's say, skullduggery. So please be yourself, be open, but be mindful of what you're saying and crossing the borderlines of cases where we could get sued, guys. So just be aware of what you're saying. But of course, we don't mind attacks and online fights. It's all good. It's all part of the show. So first of all, I'd like to welcome you. Super Dixon, he's our other host. Of course, he's the all-in-one Kizombero. He does everything. Well, actually, let us pass it over to Dixon to tell us about himself all on his own. Super Dixon, welcome to the show. Welcome to the stage.
La bonne noite. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk Kizomba. Thank you, Gario. Thank you, Andrea. Good to be back one more time. My name is Super Dixon. I'm a full-time professional artist in Kizomba, everything Kizomba. So I'm a dance teacher, I'm a DJ, I'm an event organizer, I'm a promoter. Above everything else, I'm an entertainer. Born in Mozambique, I'm a Palop. I grew up in Portugal, and since my 7 years old, I've been immersed in all African cultures, which makes it like 35 years of madness, really. 14 years working in the UK, and I'm literally happy to give my perspectives from a Palop point of view in this show. Let's keep going with the ball rolling. On to the next. Let's go. Can't wait for today.
Okay, thank you, Super Dixon. That's a very nice description of yourself and your profile. Thank you for that. Our panelist tonight is a lovely lady who's joined us recently and gave us a great insight last 2 weeks. We welcome her back to join us, and we're very happy to have Gabriella join the show. Welcome, Gabby.
Hi.
Nice to have
Thank
you
you.
again.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to join the show. My name is Gabriella. For whoever doesn't know me, I've been dancing for about 8 years. At some point, about 5 times a week in my life. So I do enjoy dancing, Kizomba, salsa, bachata, reggaeton, R&B, any type of music. And I'm really looking forward to the chat tonight.
Well, thank you, Gabby. That's wonderful to hear from you, and welcome back to the show. We're hoping for a good crowd tonight. It's an interesting topic. I believe one of our hosts, Super Dixon, had a great part to play in this topic. So we hope he's got some interesting insights with regards to this and his opinion and personal feelings on the Kizomba music umbrella. So we're going to start, as always, with a question to each of the hosts and, of course, the panel. So we'll start with Andrea, of course. Andrea, being a host, I'm going to put a question to you to start the show. How important is music to you for Kizomba events? Now, what I'm getting at here, Andrea, is personally, for me, it's the be all and end all. I have to have my type of music at the event. Now, the question, and I hope Gabby and Super Dix are listening, my point here is how important is it that, will you stomp out if they're not playing your music? Will you just say, right, I'm going home? When I say how important is the music to you, can it cause you to walk out? Can it cause you to run to the organizer and give them a blast? How important is the music?
I think that's pertinent question. I remember when I started dancing Kizomba, which was 2011, 2012, and I didn't know the different types of music. I didn't know what was good music, what was bad music. I just thought you danced to everything. But I came from a salsa background, and in salsa events, you tend to dance to every song that comes on. It's not necessarily, my view on that has changed as well. And it wasn't until I started speaking to some of my Palop friends, and they were saying, well, yeah, we come along, and if we hear a song we like, we'll dance. If we don't hear a song, if we don't like the song, we don't dance. And I totally now understand what they mean. So yes, I have left events early because the music's not been to my taste, and it's not music that I particularly want to dance to. I will, if I've got an event, if I'm going to an event, and I will look at the DJ. That's the first thing I look at, is who's the DJ. And there are several DJs that I will travel miles to go and dance, to their music, because I know what they play and I know they play the type of music I like. But I will also go to events where the music's not to my taste, necessarily, because I'm supporting the promoter, maybe, and although I may not really be into the songs, I will if somebody asks me, or if I've been sitting down for too long. But to me, if the music's not right, it can spoil the whole evening. It can make it. It's meant to me. It's a party. It's meant to be a party, and if it's graveyard music all night or for most of the night, I think, well, I haven't really had a chance to party. I've just been sitting. But yeah, the music is the prime one. It's the most important thing.
Well, it's very interesting you say that. And I want to ask you, Andrea,
Let's carry on.
graveyard music, just for the listeners and viewers, can you give us a bit of an insight? And be careful here, Andrea, because some people might like what you determine is graveyard music. So can you just kind of give us an understanding of what that is?
Okay, so everybody knows I like the faster Kizomba beat, the faster, not necessarily Semba, but then you get fast Semba and slow Semba. You get fast Kizomba, slow Kizomba. But if it's hours and hours of Ghetto Zouk or Tereshinha, then no, that's to me, that's not what I'm there for because I can't dance to it. It's to me it's I listen to that music at home when I'm doing stuff. To me, I've come out to party, I've come out to dance, and standing still in one spot is not dancing to me. But that's my preference. Everybody has a different preference. I know some people, mentioning no names, prefer the slower music, and that's fine. um and yeah, that's really great, but it's no, I prefer the faster music. So if I've been sitting down for half an hour, 45 minutes, you'll normally see me heading to the door or
So
finding
Andrea,
something else to do.
I just want to clarify. Are you saying graveyard music is the slower type of music?
To me, graveyard music is probably not the best one because there are some beautiful slow kizomba music.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to understand. Yeah, yeah,
There are, but they're not what I would call party music. And I
yeah.
know that everybody goes dancing for a different reason, and I know that I don't need to enlighten people why some people go and why other people go. But so, but if we're meant to be having a party, you're meant to be up, you're meant to be enjoying yourself, you're meant to be having a good time. If it's the long episodes of Ghetto Zouk or the slower music and slower music, parties are
Yeah,
for everybody. I do get that, and I'm not saying that it's wrong, but you pays your money, you takes your choice.
well, sometimes it's not your choice. This is the problem, as we
No,
know.
but I mean to the parties. So there are some parties I won't go to because I know the music there, the DJ doesn't play the music that I like. And it's not just about the type of music, it's about if the DJ's is good at mixing. If he's no good at mixing the music and you're going clunk, clunk, clunk to each song, then that break Kizomba's about the mood, about the feeling, and you want that smooth transition between songs. And if it's clunk, 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 you're like, oh, I've woken up now. I don't. So yeah, but like I said, everybody's different. Everybody wants to play, different music. But you dance to what you enjoy, and I don't mind sitting down if the music's good and it's slow kizomba and it's good music. That's
Then it's
absolutely
fine.
fine. But when it's
Okay,
the same, beats per minute for an hour, I'm like, okay, could we please have a bit of variety?
okay. So you're telling us you could possibly head for the exit if it's not to your liking the music. That's interesting. Thank you, Andrea. We'll
You're
go to
welcome.
Super Dixon, a man that does everything within the community. Um, Apart from singing, I don't think he sings on stage live, but I think he does everything else. Dixon, when you go to an event and it depends, let's say in this country and you head to the Midlands, what is your default taste under the umbrella? Give us two of the genres under the umbrella you think I must hear this when I'm here.
Right. Before I answer, you need to go to more events where I DJ because I always have a mic and I always sing on top of the songs and nobody even can tell. They can tell when I'm rambling with my MC, but they cannot tell when I'm singing. But maybe, Gary, one day you come to an event or a festival where I'm DJing, you might see me singing. Yeah.
Okay,
I
but
never
is
say
it
I'm
like
a singer. I never
we're
say I'm a
talking
singer.
about an arranged live session, man? So that's your next move. You've done everything else. Okay.
Yeah. So Andrea kind of already said it very very well, kind of. For me, Kizomba, well, the word party, well, Kizomba party, for me, above anything, needs to be a party, you know? I don't think that, I think I would class as a graveyard party if the energy of the event is zilch, is zero. Now, for me, Ghetto Zouk in Tarraxinha doesn't make it a graveyard party. I love Tarraxinha and I love Ghetto Zouk. But I think if you want me to select two genres, I think I would go with Ghetto Zouk and let's say Ghetto Zouk and Samba. I think you could get away with murder with those two, and you get a good party as long as you know how to keep the both going together. You know what I mean? But I love compa as well. So, but again, Ghetto Zouk and everything Ghetto Zouk and Samba. That's a you cannot miss in a party when you do one of those. Although
You
I have
can't.
other genres, but let's keep it simple to those two.
So Ghetto Zouk and Kizomba.
Yeah, and I must say, when I say Ghetto Zouk, I'm just saying Ghetto Zouk because it's the umbrella that for some reason someone stapled in the UK as a thing. I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to say his name, but someone mentioned Ghetto Zouk like a staple of style, and it's like okay, but I think we can talk later more about this Ghetto Zouk that everybody is losing their minds about. But for now, let's keep it to it. Let's go to Gabriella. Unless you have any more questions, bro.
No, I think that was for you, Super Dixon. That was a brilliant, quick summary of what you like, your personal taste. I think that's a nice balance. I think that it wouldn't be for Andrea, but for a lot of us, that would be nice. Ghetto Zouk and Kizomba. So yeah, that's a good answer to the first question. Gabby, what about yourself? Are you a slow jammer or a hyper fanatic racing around the floor?
Well, my music taste has changed over the years. Um, when I started, I was more into Tarraxinha. So when I was going to festivals, I would go and dance the slow dances. And some of my friends will make comment about that. So I kind of like the slow dance to start with. But as I got more into it and I had more lessons, I think I kind of got to appreciate more Simba. So if I'm going to Kizomba events now, I kind of like a bit of both, I would say. I also like Ghetto Zouk. I also like Zouk. But yeah, that's a different thing. But my music taste has changed over the years. So, and I noticed that sometimes it's also about my mood. So it really depends in which mood I'm in. I will probably sit down if I don't like the music. So I will not dance necessarily. I would say that because it has happened to me before. But yeah.
Would you leave, Gabby, if you say, you know what, I really can't take this?
No, I would never leave a party. I've never done it. I always stay until the end.
Really
Yes,
interesting.
yeah. Always done it since I was really young. So yeah, it's not
We
going to
had
change.
well, I know of one person, even an example, just this last week, or yeah, just recently, bolted out the door, had enough because it really was going on, and that person couldn't take it anymore because it was like, when is this going to end? Will it end? Is it going to change? Probably not. So yeah, I think you might. I don't know. You're maybe open to a wider scope of selection of music, so that allows you to stay and just sit down and talk. But you spoke about mood, so can you tell us a little bit more about the mood side of things? So you You come up to London, you go to O'Neill's, for example. You're in a mood. You're thinking, I've had a really crappy day. I'm coming out to dance at O'Neill's. You go through the door. You get inside. It's a bit flat. What are you looking for on that night, Gabby? Is it one of your default types of music, like a Gelazouk or a Kizomba, or would you be looking for an upbeat Semba kind of style?
Probably I will look for an upbeat Simba to kind of lift my mood, I would say.
Semba, interesting. So you believe like a bit of racing across the floor, and before Andrea shoots me and anyone else, it's just a term, a bit quicker than let's say Kizomba, or well, the slower Kizomba, let's say. Would you not get any benefit from a slower track with connection, feeling like someone is connecting with you and making you feel safe and better? Maybe something to consider. I don't know.
I think it really depends on the way you are. For in my case, I think I would benefit more from like more an upbeat type of dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably think so.
Okay. Well, it's a good answer, and I'm glad you brought up mood because we're going to come to that in a little while. Andrew, just before we move on, mood, does that appeal to you? Does that go for you as well? If you walk in, you travel up to London after a long day and a long journey, does it depend on your mood also what you like?
No. Yes. No.
No.
I'll always want to dance to a good song. So I'm not necessarily saying it's not Ghetto Zouk. If it's a good song with a good rhythm, a good melody, if it touches my soul, I want to dance to it. And it may be a song I've never heard before. So yeah, I work in adult social care, so my week is tough. So I want to be up dancing. There are certain dancers I want to dance with who dance really well the faster track. My mood can be affected. So if I've had a really tough week, I want to be able to just dance all those cares away. And it doesn't necessarily actually have to be that fast a song. It just needs to be a good song. Anything by Puerto Portuguese, anything by Yola Semedo, anything like that will help my mood. So the music lifts my mood, no matter where my mood is. The music will lift my mood. But if it's not great songs, if it's not great mixes, if it's not great, music choices, then you can tell by my face, really, what's happening. But I
Okay,
don't
Andrew,
go just to dance. It's, part of it is to go and see my friends, and so the songs I'm not that bothered to dance to. I'm chatting to people, saying hi to people.
interesting. I think something you mentioned. So Gabby's interestingly said mood. You've come up with something about getting lifted, and we might come to that on DJs that lift. I mean, for me, G Salza, he can change the mood of the room very quickly. He comes on, and all of a sudden, there's a big lift. It's amazing. And he's done it year after year. He's the guy that I've noticed can change a mood. So that's very interesting. But we'll go to the next question, and an important one. It's a deep one. What attracted you? What type of music from the Kizomba umbrella attracted you to Kizomba, to draw you in, to say, oh my God, I love this type of music. I want to dance Kizomba. So what genre under the umbrella drew you into Kizomba? We'll go
Well,
to Gabby first.
I was going to say, can I just say that at the beginning, we don't know what genre we're dancing to, so
Yeah, but
we can only know later on as we move on. So I
well,
claim that as my excuse.
well, your excuse, my excuse was I knew straight away because it was definitely the Ghetto Zoot Tarashina, the heavy bass line, everything. I knew for sure what it was that drew me in. So, Gabby, maybe now you know better. Can you think back to your early days and think, oh, that's that style of music under the umbrella. That's what got me going. You know, Nelson Freitas or whatever it may be. So, can you tell us?
Yeah, that was Nelson Freitas probably.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
so yes, when I started, I kind of liked more the slow songs because when I started Kizomba, I kind of got drawn to um, the whole experience of dancing with a partner and having like a connection. So in my mind, I would just imagine that I was just walking, in the sand somewhere remotely, somewhere really far, and and so for me, it was more the whole experience I had. So the dancing experience, and that's why I like more the slow songs. But having said that, I would say that that was because some of the parties I was going to in Brighton, they primarily play this type of songs. So it really depends on the type of music that the DJ plays. So which type of party do you go to? Especially if it's at the beginning and you don't really know the music. And it's your basically it's your first experience. You only know what you get to know, every time, every single time. So for me, it was definitely the slow song, so the Tarashinha. And then when I started to get more into dancing, then my music taste has changed since then.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned it just before you did, like the kind of I've heard it so many times, the kind of Nelson for I know it might sound cheesy, but he's got some cracking tracks. I mean, but we've often heard the slower tracks is what drew people in. And yeah, I think as you get along, you kind of get some people get converted. So Andrea, we'll go to you. Um, in that fateful night in the Colosseum or Grande, you turned left or was it right? I don't remember. And you heard this type of music. Now, now you know better. What do you think it was?
Turned left instead of faster. Um, I didn't honestly know. I can't remember. It was that long ago. What song? Um, El Grande was great. El Grande was great at playing a wide variety of kizomba. It wasn't always the same thing, um, but it was something just grabbed my heart, and it was the African beat. It was very melodic and salsa. It I can't say that it was a particular song, but like Gabby says, at the beginning, you don't know what you're dancing to. You're dancing to everything because that's what you think. I was lucky that I learnt to dance. Yeah, Tully, to the Colosseum was the best. That I was introduced to Kizomba by Palop, not um, like today where there's a variety of people teaching and introducing us, and they would. What always frustrates me is there is so much music out there, that we get caught up with the same songs, and there are various DJs, and you know exactly what song's coming after the one that they played previously. But my playlist is extensive, and it's got, I think it told me it's 7 days worth of music on it, and I keep adding to it. Um, so, but it was as near to African music. It was that African undertone that I don't know how to describe it, rather than salsa or bachata, that just grabbed at me, that I hadn't heard in any music anywhere before, and it just lifted my soul so completely. And I remember standing there going, "I've come home," and that really was. I said that to the person I was with. I said, "Oh, I've come home. This is where I'm meant to be." That, and I'm sure that everybody who dances, whatever their favorite dance is, hears that music that grabs at their soul, and you're so lucky if you have that in your life. I used to teach a student, and he said, "I don't like Kizomba. I don't like the music." And I said, "Have you ever really listened to it?" And by the end of it, he was coming to my lessons every week. And he said, "I actually like this music now." So it grabs some people, it doesn't grab others. And I started with Nelson Freitas. But that there wasn't a lot of music coming out, really, Kizomba music, but now there's just so much out there. But yeah.
Well, it's very interesting that again, guys, I'm very appreciative of your insight so far, because you're dropping little nuggets. We've had from Gabby, kind of mood from yourself, Andrea, getting lifted, and now you've come out with something very important. Not only what grabbed you, but how you were introduced. I mean, a lot of people came from salsa or bachata, and you're saying you came through. Well, I guess being in the Colosseum when El Grande was on, I'm guessing it was via salsa and bachata, but you also had maybe a strong influence at the start of your journey from Africans, so that might have influenced where you are today. Also, your heritage that you like to tell us about, it could be an influence. So yeah, I'm really appreciative, guys. There's little nuggets, and we will come to each of those in a while. Dixon, yourself, you grew up in the system, so it's a bit different for you. But when you were growing up, what music under the umbrella really kept you in the system, kept you think, you know what, I'll still dance what my community dances rather than going off. And I'm not saying that you didn't go to hip hop and R&B or whatever, but what was the under the umbrella? Which of the types of music kept you in the system?
I must say that very controversial to what I grew up, because I grew up with Kassav. I grew up listening to Kassav. So again, Caribbean vibes,
Yeah,
and obviously in all the Angolan African rhythms different. But I must say that when you grow up with that type of thing, it's your parents' music. So it didn't attract me really. Do you know what I mean? But when the Ghetto Zouk, but not Ghetto Zouk is so late. Ghetto Zouk is so 2008 in the in the thing that it's not for me. Obviously, what actually captivated me was the Zouk love. You know what I
Zouk.
mean?
Yeah,
Those Antillen, those again Zouk Compass. That beat was like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I'm on holiday, but um, two specific genres that did resonate with me. Obviously, was Cabo Zouk. The Cabo Zouk genre, which is very distinct from the what people call as Kizomba. I think the Cape Verdeans had and when I went to uni, I started to hang out more with Cape Verdeans, and obviously because I was more into my R&B, into my hip hop. You know, that Cabo Zouk and that Zouk love. I was like, yes, I was like, I was feeling drawn more to it because obviously I was going to the parties to dance hip hop, not to dance kizomba. So when they playing this music, and I'm like, shit, I'm like, do you want to dance? I'm like, I might do a move or two, but one of the for me obviously as game changers of music, which I teach in my musicality, one of my specific musicality workshops of the game changers of music, Tarrashinha music, when it came on, it's my generation, it's that thing where the aunties are asking you, are you dancing this new dance? I was like, no, I wouldn't do that. Yes, I was. That's all I wanted to do, but because I come from a different pasada education, I would get bored if I grind to death. You know what I mean? And I've always been more discreet type of person, so I would not need the dance floor to have that type of display. But I love the music. I love the upbeat music that they were doing because it had so much hip hop influence. And then obviously when Kaisha comes into the scene, and Kaisha more than the ghetto zouk, Kaisha when he comes into the scene, he's bringing a different mixology of music. He's one of the most underrated game changers that nobody talks about. Because if it wasn't for Kaisha, you wouldn't have Nelson Freitas. Nelson Freitas was great in plus cuatro plus, right? He was great in what he was doing. But Kaisha comes in and it's doing, nobody could claim this guy. Everybody wanted to claim this guy. Do you know what I mean? So when he starts to make all his music, all his alternative, I don't know if this is Zouk. I don't know if this is Coupé de Calais. I don't know what this is, but I like it. And I think that groove, that upbeat tempo, where we can still dance pasada or we can mix up a bit with samba, and for me that's the thing that clicked. But ultimately, I must say, anything that was like romantique, oh my god, for me, anything that was like love song, hate song, for me, that was my jam, honestly.
Okay, I mean, it's really interesting. It's really different for you, Dixon, growing up in the system. So, I mean, you look at someone like Gabby. She's just maybe done a bit of salsa. Andrea was doing salsa. I was doing salsa. It's really interesting. And I actually I had taken a break from salsa. I remember years, and I met a guy in my football team who was actually a teacher of Kizomba, Francis, and he kept telling me at football, he goes, Gary, you got to come to Kizomba, you got to come to Sibo's. And I was like, oh, Frankie, come on, man, I'm playing football, I'm living my life. He said, no, you don't understand. So actually, that was one of my pathways in, and I didn't take it at first, and I actually came across it in a festival in Madrid, and I remembered the kind of the beat, and I was like, good lord, that's that Kizomba thing. And I got hooked after that, and it's quite interesting how people get into it. So Dixon, you were talking about Cabo Love. Can you just, for the viewers and listeners, try
Cabo
and
Love and Cabo, I
describe?
was talking about Cabo Zouk, but yeah, Cabo Zouk, Cabo Love, anything
Yeah,
in that
and
area.
give
Yeah.
these listeners and viewers a bit of insight. How would you describe, so when they hear these tracks, they say, oh, that's the Cabo Zouk Super Dixon was talking about?
So that's one of the things that I think it gets a little bit lost in the traction of what Kizomba, what was becoming Kizomba, because I'm from the generation where we never used the word Kizomba. You know what I mean? When I came to the UK and everybody's talking about Kizomba, I was like, yeah, what about it? I'm trying to suss out, what is this people talking about? Is this an Angolan party? Straight away, that's what I thought. Is this an Angolan party? Is this something Angolan party? I never was thinking that Kizomba party, like whatever, it would encompass all this slow motion or this romantic music, but I knew that any parties that we used to go, we're talking about, I mean, I was in university from 2004 to 2008 type of thing. So this is many years ago, as you can see. But the DJs would play a vibe. For me, one of the DJs that always inspired me to want to be a DJ was DJ Yellow. You know, he lived here in the UK for many years. I think he left back to Portugal, unfortunately, but he was one of those DJs that he would mix everything. But obviously, the reason why I was going out was to dance live music. I said this before, obviously. The reason I'm going out is to listen to live music, you know, and to obviously the DJ takes over then, and then we can party. But I think this Cabo love we're talking about, it was that the way that the Cape Verdeans were inspired by the Caribbean music from the French, from Martinique and Guadeloupe, but mostly the one that was already being mixed into the R&B in the slow motion. And the Cape Verdeans had a different tone. They had a different heavy bass line, you know, and they danced pasada, like pasada. They didn't dance kizomba even. So for me, like the likes of Marisia, the likes of Ariette, um, who else? Felipe Montero. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's so many here that I could. Kimberly, I don't know. There's a lot of Cabo Love singers that were doing a great job. But obviously, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. In between this vibe, the Angolans, you know, they were not left behind. You know, they're observing what's this new vibe. You know, and you know, everybody knows the Angolans is like they're very jealous. So they want to do something. They're gonna do it better. So Anselmo Ralph is coming in with a different sound. Later, Se Cuatro Pedro. You know what I mean? And obviously the great Matias Damasio, you know, that he was ahead of everybody. He was not so popular, but he was ahead of all these guys, dropping this again, different sounds from different, but again, it was a mixology of different countries that could the concoction of playing for all of us. That was the thing. Playing for all of us. As long as you have a bit of everything, a bit of speeds, kuduro, funana, you know, I grew up with the ranges, with all the ranges where all the speeds. And for me, that was what a good party was about, you know. But that Cabo love that you're asking is just, I don't know, it's just that romantic sadness that I don't know, a different
And
vibe
that's the
back
thing.
then.
That's the thing. I think Super Dixon, when it comes to the umbrella, I think it's been extended quite a lot. It's the biggest umbrella now because you got
It
this
is,
love,
but I
this
do
zouk, this love, this zouk, zouk everywhere. Zouk, zouk, zouk loves love, and it's like, wow.
I just want to be clear here. No, I just want to be clear here that it's like, you know, when we know that there's a new Kizomba genre thing, it resembled a lot like Kassav. It had a lot of influence, and it was still fast like Samba. None of my generation wanted to do fast dance space, man. We don't want to go to the club and listen to fast dance space, man. You leave that to the uncles. I leave that to the older people. You know, I go to the bar while they sweat off. Do you know what I mean? It was a different. The sounds when they were changing into something more slow based. You know, sentimental. That thing. That
Sentimental,
is the
sentimental.
real thing that a lot of people forget. That Cape Verdean vibe, you know, that Cape Verdean vibe actually influenced way more into this game changer of Kizomba that a lot of people don't talk about. And I don't know, when someone decided to talk illy about Ghetto Zouk just because in Europe everybody is listening just to Ghetto Zouk, I was like, bro, that's what made it popular. That was the sound that made Kizomba popular. So I don't know what's the fuss. What's the fuss? What's the problem? You know? But obviously, if we have to be professionals on the line, oh, that's not Kizomba. Of course it's not.
So, Super Dixon, I want to ask you one more thing. Can
Go
you
on.
can you just clarify something?
Go
Get a
on.
Zouk
Shoot.
made Kizomba popular. Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
Bro, as soon as Kaisha enters the fray, and I think it's important that people to understand globalization. Globalization, do you know? Because when we talk about globalization is when some of the singers like Kaisha, then he gets Nelson Freitas on board and they start singing in English. And there's a big diaspora of Palops going into the rest of the European countries. You know, they already passed the gate, Portugal gate. Now they can go to Europe without with a passport, you know? you can tell. Ask anybody. Everybody knows Rebound Chick. Everybody hates it today, but everybody knows Rebound Chick. Why Rebound Chick was such a hit? He's blatantly singing what he wants to do in English. So now everybody can understand what the song is about. So what the hell is going on? I like this. So whether people want to accept it or not, that genre that actually started with Quattro Plus when they created the Ghetto Zoo genre and they were trying to Americanize it. You know what I mean? That genre, it got the attention of everybody that can speak English. And once you got that, I
Makes
mean,
it popular. Yeah, I agree with you. I think for sure, as even a traditionalist will have to say, you know what, if it was down to just Posada, Samba, whatever it may be, it wouldn't be as popular. So I think you're right on that note. We should go to the line
bro,
where we have a number of
bro, I,
comments.
I just want to clarify one little thing before you go into the next session. Of course, I'm not just saying it wasn't just Ghetto Zouk, but it played a very important key line to get all of the palop music into the line, because I want to say, even you guys remember when the mixers coming in and mixing, there was R&B zouk from the French people. There was the R&B mixed into with Kizomba beats. And obviously everybody that gets introduced to Kizomba, oh, ghetto zouk, oh yeah, yeah. But then when they start listening to the real beats produced by Palops, woo, they found out, oh my God, they even got better music. Touche.
There you go, guys. You heard it. Dixon's confirmed it, and I'm glad he has. Anyway, let's go to the comments in the comment section. We'll start with Feipei. I think I know who that is. She's saying, let's just clarify here what she's saying because it's a nice comment. I'd say Semba and Kizomba are more universal, i.e., I would dance them with basically anyone. Tarashini, not really. It feels more personal. Would you say that some music can be enjoyed more easily? So I think what she's getting at with regards to our topic is, she kind of likes 2 to 3 of the umbrella songs, the umbrella types of music, I beg your pardon, but she's going to break that down into a second level where she loves Tarashina, but that is more personal, so she feels like, yeah, it's something I want to hear when I go out, but it'll be more something I'll dance with someone I know or like or care about. We've got Carlita. Hello, Carlita. Keep your comments coming. We've been looking for you. What is she saying here? They had food, so when I drank, food saved my life. I'm not sure what she's talking about. Maybe someone can shed some light on that.
She's talking about at the Colosseum back in the day.
Okay.
They had the food stalls on the stairs. Do you remember?
Yes.
Hot food, yeah. So you could have you could drink and eat because we were there till 5 o'clock in the morning. So
Yeah.
it still is. It still is. I'm teaching there on Friday, so
doesn't happen at
we don't
Scala,
give
but
food.
yeah.
It's at
Francesca
Scala.
said 100%. So I don't know what. Good evening, Dorothy. Long time. Welcome back. Collie has also said something else here. I have a moment where I do enjoy Funana and Kuduru, but having too much of it can stop people from going to dance Kizomba. This is why I enjoy Drena, because it's pure Kizomba. Yeah, I think Carlita's got a good point. Now, when we talk about this, when we use the word Kizomba as the overriding uncle of everything, when it's not, but for everyone in general, it is. We say Kizomba, not Semba, so we say Kizomba. So when you go somewhere and they interrupt, it's quite rude of me to say, but they interrupt it with some funana and kuduru, okay, and afro, and
Bro, it's
whatever.
funana.
Yeah. Funana, yeah. It's what do people feel like? Get this thing off now. You've interrupted my night, my flow, especially if it's been sweet up until that point, and they break it. So quickly, just very quickly go round. Gabby, when they start playing Afro House and all these kinds of things, Kuduro Funana, how do you feel? Do you feel like, stop it?
No, you're asking the wrong person. That's how I started dancing many years ago. I love this type of dance. When I was dancing in the club or in the bars in Italy by the beach, that's the type of music they used to play. So it's one of my favorite. So for sure, I will not stop dancing. I will dance even more if I hear those type of songs.
Okay, I mean, I have no problem with it. The only problem I have is when it can go up to an hour. I've seen some nights and I'm thinking, I'm getting people tapping you on the back. It's like, Gary, I'll do something. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like, it's not my night, and it's going on I've known it to go on for an hour and I'm thinking, my gosh. But also we have people within the building that's their thing, and they come out in numbers and you have to give them something. So, Andrea, in your experience, does it tamper with your night? Does it like?
For me, it does, but that's because I'm at a point in my life where my knees don't like kuduro, but I love funana. If I could dance that or samba even. But again, I've come. A lot of ladies have come out, and men have come out dressed well, and if the Afro beats or that sort of thing is on for a long time, they're all hot and sweaty, and maybe people then don't want to dance with them afterwards. I personally think there is a place for it for a short burst of it. Um, but yes, there are some events where it goes for an hour and you're like, and I've said people grab their coats and people leave. I know because the night that it is that it will eventually stop, but there comes a point for me where it's almost tipping into yeah, I'd like to go home again. I'd like to go home now. But I've driven 2 hours to get to most events in London. So I'm more likely to stay because I've driven those 2 hours and I want to dance and stuff. And also, see, it's a chance then to go to the loo. It's a chance to go and get a drink. It's a chance to just sort of have a little bit of a rest before continuing with the rest of the night. Yeah, funana. I love funana. You put that on, I could dance forever to that. I love it. But they don't. The thing is, they just, most places are just playing like the Afrobeats and the Kuduro. They don't play the funana. They don't play those other, music from Cape Verde or somewhere like that. So just Afrobeats tends to. Okay, I've heard 10 of these songs now. Could we move on? It wouldn't bother me, I think, if they played different songs, but it seems like there are only about 5 songs out there that all the DJs play. Every event you go to, it is the same ones. There is so much music out there. Please, guys, do your research. Introduce people to different artists, different music. But it just seems to be, we all sit there and we all go, it'll be this one next, it'll be that. Yep. Oh, yeah. Follows the same pattern every week at every venue you go to, and you're like, there must be more songs out there, please. And if there
But
is,
Andrew, you say that, Andrea. Can I just interject, because there are some very popular songs like Felicidades where the line dance and that gets the room going. So I guess it's swings and roundabouts. It's like, well, that is one of the songs I'm willing to take a break and hear all this type of music, because there's
I'm
quite
not
a few
saying
songs I
there
like.
isn't, but there are other songs out there. So yes, this is why I'm not a DJ. But
Been
I
saying you
do.
should be.
Sounds like she should be,
No,
Dixon, right?
No, but it's funny, Andrea. It's
I
funny
do
you
not
say
want
that
to be a DJ.
about the music. About the music variety. But it's funny. Here in London, I can go to any night right now. The DJs will play exactly the same music. It doesn't matter who the DJ, they will at some point drop the same songs. That's why I find it funny when I go to play, because I have my taste and I have my era, which I think a lot of those music that they're not played. Do you know what I mean? I just go back to my era, and I know for a fact some of those songs there's still songs of my era that get played, but there's so many others that are not played at all. You know what I mean? And I think some of the DJs could just go back to that library book and try to play that type of different old school music. You know, but they don't. They play safe all the time.
Well, old school might be not the school of thought here. Yeah. So
Andrew
yeah,
knows
I
that.
mean, I
He
think
will do like a session of what I call old school that I love. But please play the whole song. Don't cut the song in half. That's the one thing I really hate. Really, you're just getting into it, and you know that it's going to drop in a minute, and then it's another song, and I'm like, thanks. But yeah, on that
guys,
note, we need to take a
guys,
break.
song time.
Can I just say to everybody that Winston Fox was meant to be here tonight, but he's got some issues with his connection. We're not really sure what's happened. So he is listening.
He's due to
And we
come on
will,
still for the second half if you can get in touch with him. So
I've sent him the link 3 times. Hopefully he'll be able to sort out what's happening his end. But he would have really good input into it. Variety, people, variety. Yeah, absolutely. Me. Um, so we're just going to take a break, have a little bit of music. We'll all gather our thoughts, see if we can get Winston in, and we will see you in a minute. If I can find the right thing that I meant to do. This is also why I'm not like in charge of anything, because technology I hate.
This could be the start of something good. Don't you think? 'Cause I do. Red roses, white wine, the candles are lit today. And it's all for you. Yes, all for you. Hoping underneath that trend you're wearing lingerie. Are you coming through? I need to know, 'cause I've been waiting patiently for a girl like you to come my way. And now that you're here, I won't let you go. Yes, I've been waiting patiently for a girl like you to come my way. It's you that I've been longing for. This could be the start of something good. Don't you think? 'Cause I do. We can make this happen, me and you. You agree? 'Cause I do. This could be the start of something good. I'm in the elevator going up. You be on the magic carpet ride, flying high with a touch of you. I feel so good. Got me wondering where you've been all my life. 'Cause I've been searching for a girl like you all this time. 'Cause I've been waiting patiently for a girl like you to come my way. And now that you're here, I won't let you go. Yes, I've been waiting patiently for a girl like you to come my way. It's you that I've been longing for. This could be the start of something good. Don't you think? 'Cause I do. We can make this happen, me and you. You agree?
Hello and welcome back. to the second part of Let's Talk Kizomba. What music should be played at Kizomba events? Well, we're just waiting for everyone to come back. We were just, Winston had, unfortunately, he still hasn't been able to get in, which is a shame. But here's Winston's little notice that he got into Kizomba, and it was Rebound Chick. There were a couple of those Nelson Freitas songs. Rebound Chick must have been about the same sort of time, really, with Winston that I was hearing, and we thought it was amazing. But then, like I say, I was then introduced to Banker Jazz, people like that, and that is where my love really kicked off. But everybody has what they like. Oh, Dorothy's not in England. All right, Dorothy, don't tell us how warm it is out in Ghana. Thank you. Look at that, 32 degrees. I don't think we've ever had that.
Don't be a sourpuss. Don't be a sourpuss. Allow some of us to enjoy good weather.
So what's it Winston saying here? DJs need to read the floor when they play the music. Afro and Funana has its place. I go to the bar or just refresh, leave the floor to those who want it. But after 30 minutes, that's more than enough. And then I'm likely to call it at the end of the night, particularly if the floor is not busy or people aren't responding to it. So yes, I get that on some nights there may be a younger sort of generation of people coming out and they they don't necessarily dance Kizomba and they want to dance because the idea is it's a party. But I've had this conversation with somebody recently that the way parties are being now promoted, has that changed, and the type of music that's played changed, that much from when I started, where it was all that heavy ghetto zouk beat. I don't know. Carlita says let's just let them play 5 songs and that's it. I don't know, if people have come out and they've paid their money like I paid my money, gives me a chance to have a drink, freshen up, catch up with people, network a bit. I don't know, but yeah, 5 songs would do me, thank you. And Letitia's saying she grew up listening to Funana without even knowing. They played it at my family Caribbean parties. It's always refreshing to hear it at a party. So are you back with us, Gario?
I've been here from the start. You carry on. I've been here all the time. Carry on.
Can I just add something about the Funana and the Afro thing? I must say that even the formula that was done in Portugal, it wasn't that crazy. It wasn't that crazy unless you were in a proper disco till 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, but most of the parties that we went, the finish at 3 in the morning, for example, it was like I said, it's like a crescendo. A lot of people complain about the crescendo, but the crescendo, like going from going from a slow beat to a hapa beat where you go through samba, proper speed, 125, 30 beats per minute, entering the funana, entering the kuduru, and some afro or whatever. But this transition of again, it could not be so long even, but it was like 30 minutes, sometimes even 40 minutes. But it was like I think, again, my experience, it was like it was never going to be longer than 30, 40 minutes type of thing, because the people who were there to dance, obviously, Kizomba, I know all pasadas and all the whatever. But this, I think, for example, coming to the UK, to have none of it, and when I say none of it, even samba, proper samba, none of it, I found it really weird. And people, obviously, the English dancers that were part of the community say, "Oh, we don't like that." And they said to me, like, in a posh way, I was like, you don't like that? Wait until I do my parties. I said, wait until I do my parties. You're gonna be there shaking your booty. And a lot of them, they were. They tried to complain at the beginning. I said, you don't need to come to my event. It was packed. And that's why I do. Oh, Winston! Winston! You had too much rain, nephew, brother.
Finally,
Jesus.
Okay,
finally.
guys, we have to move swiftly on because we're going to be short of time. If not, so we'll go straight in, guys. We were talking about just a bit of a review. We're talking about what songs we like in the Kizomba world under the Kizomba umbrella. So, firstly, how important is music to you at a Kizomba event? Do you know, is it about the music or is it just about the vibe? You know, what music attracted you to Kizomba? You know, yeah. And we've struggled to get past the first two, but Winston, let me ask
Yo,
you a question. We're going to go in on you now. How
yep.
important is music to you at a Kizomba event? Are you one of those guys that walks out after 2 hours and say, "Oh, it's too much this, too much Semba"? Well, we know for you that's not a problem, but
Well,
too much of anything.
I think too much of anything is not good. Yeah, and I think what it is, you've got to go to an event and appreciate that you're not the only one there that wants to hear a certain type of music. So I think we all have to have some understanding. And for example, I made a comment that sometimes I don't dance Afro and Fanana, but I expect other people to dance it. So if they're having that played, I expect to have a certain amount of it, entertain the crowd, but then change it. What annoys me often is that sometimes it is played and the first 10 minutes people are dancing, and then after 10 minutes, the floor is empty. But the DJ for another 20 minutes is playing, and it's like, well, who the hell are you playing for? Because you haven't read the floor. Yeah? So read the floor and change. So for me, that's what's important. Mix the music. And also, it also depends on the venue that you have. For example, if the venue is small, I love Semba. But obviously, if it's a small venue, you have difficulty playing music like Semba, which makes you dance more expansive. So you have to understand, well, if I go to certain venues, I expect that they're going to play a certain amount of slower music to cater for the fact that the venue is not very large. Yeah. And then if you go to another venue that is big, I would expect, because there's space, the DJs will play something that will allow you to dance and use the floor more. So it depends what venue I'm going to. And also, I also look at the DJs that are going to play, because some DJs just want to play what
Semba
the
all
women
night.
want. They want to play Ghetto Zouk, Tarashina and stuff, because the women love that, don't they? They love that, right?
Oh, they do. They do.
And we obviously
The
we all got
Ben.
into it for a reason, and that was what I got into it for in the beginning, right? Which is why I mentioned the thing about Rebound Chick, because that is what I first knew when I came in the scene. That to me was Kizomba, because that's all I knew. I didn't know much, so I thought that was Kizomba. And then someone educated me and said, actually, that's Ghetto Zouk. Huh? What? You know, I didn't know. And then the longer I've been into the Kizomba scene, my musical taste has changed. So now,
Foxy, can I hold you there?
yeah,
Can I hold you there? Because we're going to come to that next. I just
okay,
want to hold you there. It's exactly the topic we're going to talk about. Gabby's kind of mentioned that she is looking at her taste. So you did like the Ghetto Zouk initially, Foxy. You know, it's important to you that they play a good mix.
have to.
Do you have any comments? Because just two things we took from the answers from Gabby and Andrea: mood and lifting. So Gabby mentioned mood. Depending on the mood, it could change her need for a certain type of music under the umbrella. And Andrea mentioned about getting lifted when she arrives, and you know, you get there and then this music can lift her from this bad mood, long travel. Do you have anything
Yeah.
to comment on mood and being lifted
Well,
on an event?
music has always been my thing. Reggae and soul, groove, that's my thing. So if I'm ever fed up, I go into my music room and I'm playing music because that's going to uplift me. So when I come out, I want to dance. I don't come up to stand at the bar I want to dance, and nowadays I don't just want to dance with a woman hanging off my neck. I want to dance. I want to use the floor. I dance Semba. I'm a Semba lover, so that's my thing. That's why I like to travel abroad, because certain places you will get a lot of Semba. You know, you can go to a Semba festival, for example, and you know, I've been to festivals and it's mainly Semba, and I see people complaining that I know it's too much Semba, and I'm like, well, what do you expect to have in a Semba festival? It's going to be Semba, yeah. In London, we specialize. Majority of places are going to play Getazuk Tarashina, probably
I
75% of
disagree.
the night.
I disagree. I disagree.
Well, it depends where you go. It
I
depends where you
I
go.
feel like, I mean, as a point there, Foxy. I feel like there I was actually laughing with DJ Karimu just last year. We were saying save Ghetto Zouk. You know, the SOS was put out like because we didn't really hear too much of it now. There was a lot, you know, for
Are you
Fushu.
serious?
Yeah, for Fushu, for example, was
You
present
bump.
at Chocolate. Now
Yeah.
hold on. For Fushu was resident and he was more or less playing every week. So you weren't getting it at Chocolate. You also
I disagree with you.
O'Neill's was on O'Neill, depending on the DJs that were playing, were also on the borderline of you
No,
weren't getting too much.
you must be drinking or smoking something, mate.
No, I'm telling
Because
you.
most of the places I
I'm telling
go,
you.
some of the venues.
Where do you go, Winston?
I go Chocolate now and again. Chocolate is predominantly Tarashine and Get Azuk.
No. For Fushu, we can confirm that.
That is only when you get specific DJs. If you have Fufushu, he's gonna play a lot of Semba.
Yeah, but he's the
But you
resident,
have some
so
of the
mostly
others.
there.
Some of the others, they play majority. And I know because I've been there. I've been there twice over Christmas, and the majority of music you're gonna get, 80% is Tarashine and Get Azuk. I'm not knocking it because it's full. People love that, and it has its place. But in London, most places you're gonna go, that's what you're gonna get. You struggle
In
to get
Zinga Nights. In Zinga Nights. We know what we're getting at Zinga Nights.
Yes, and that's right, because I know Andrea likes to have a Semba, right?
Yeah.
And she likes to have a Palahordian, so you're gonna get that. But where else do you go in London that's gonna play Semba heavily? Where'd you go?
I honestly, there's two places where I believe it's let's say a good mix, which would be, and I know because I'm always moaning. This is how I can quantify this. I'm always moaning. So if I'm moaning, that means it's not enough. So that would be Temple and Drenna. They have I'd say they have a balance of about 65-35.
Sorry, 65 what?
65 Getazuki Kizomba.
Yeah.
But I would say O'Neill's is definitely no more than 50-50. It's really borderline. So
yeah, it is.
That's it's about talk. It's about opinions. That's what we like, Foxy. Foxy claims. It's hard to find Semba in London. We know of a few places. I want to come to our next question. Has your musical taste changed? Now, you just were about to embark on that, Foxy, so carry on. Has your musical taste changed?
Yeah, it has. It has. 13 years in, I think I spent the first 4 years probably just dancing Getazuk Tarashina, literally 4 years of doing that. And I think it's only when I then found about Semba and started to do classes in Semba and then appreciate the music that my music taste then changed. So I now like to have, I like Kizomba, I like Semba more than anything else. Semba's my favorite, yeah? But I also like, I'll be honest with you, when we were talking about this as a topic, you guys put in the title for us, different segments, Cabo Love and things like that. And I thought, actually, I don't know what the variation is. And when I actually then went and investigated, actually, I do know these records, I know them, but I would not have said that had a separate category and it was Cabo Love. I still had it classed as Kizomba. Yeah. So for me, I'm still on the educational journey to know the different types of music under that umbrella and the differences. So, having looked at it, I love Cabo Love. It's nice and it's mellow. I like it, you know. But you can dance mid tempo to it. You can dance slow if you want to. So my musical taste has changed. Like if I go out now, like I was dancing with somebody, I won't name who it was, on Friday, and they thought it was too much Semba. And I was like, the music's wicked. And they were like, I've not heard no Ghetto Zouk. I'm like, and what? But for me, it was brilliant because they were playing music you could dance to. You could dance to quick and stuff like that. So to me, that was good. So my musical journey has gone from being, maybe because I come from Lovers Rock Reggae, which, you know, we play a lot of partner dance and it's the scrubbing and rubbing. So Tarashina was the natural link onto that. But then I evolved from that into now a widespread category. Kizomba, Semba, you know, Cabo Love, I love it. Zouk I love as well. So, you know, so my taste has totally changed from when I first started, for sure.
Thank you for that, Winston. So, you know, we're getting nuggets tonight from, you know, we're waiting for the nugget from Dixon. Andrea talked about lifting. Gabby talked about mood. Winston's talking about this, you know, this part of the umbrella, this part. And for a lot of people, of course, we're all learning. And as we're learning and catching up, even after all these years, they're adding new genres under the umbrella. You know,
Yeah.
This is the thing. It's all coming out. And Dixon, you know, I guess you love all the types of music under the umbrella. But would you say from when you were growing up, as that youngster, looking at your aunties and saying, I'm not dancing to that, and your uncles, I'm not dancing to that, would you say your musical taste has changed?
I I don't think it's a matter of changing. I think it's a matter of generation. Okay, this is important thing here. And imagine when you grow up. Imagine the way when you grow up, which when you past your teenager phase in your 20s type of thing. You know, I listen, for example, to the old music with a different nostalgia. Do you know what I mean? I appreciate it way more than I did when I was younger. You know, it's just like I wanted to listen to new sounds, and I think everybody, if you go back to your teenager, to your 20s, you want to listen to the sounds that made sense to you. You know what I mean? And if you think about it, all the sounds that it's hip now, for example, and it kind of vexed me that the urban people are trying to claim all of this, and some of the Kizomba purists are trying to push it away. Do you know what I mean? It's like we're talking about genres that actually made this Kizomba thing go viral. So for me, it's not a question of changing. It's just like, again, my it grows, and I see new sounds coming up today. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, "Woo! Look at this beat." You know, shoot, I would play this. I would play this for sure. Do you know what I mean? But in the same way, bringing what is back, when I'm bringing back some stuff that was important, like for example, I realized that so many coladera, for example, is not played enough. You know, coladera is not played enough, and I made sure. You know what? I used to do it in the radio. I started to incorporate coladera onto my sets. I always did one song here and there, but I'm starting to incorporate way more because I think coladera is again Cape Verdean culture here. It's been forgotten, and again, it gets people confused. But it's just a question of appreciating what was there before and try to give to the new audience a taste of the new and a taste of the old, you know. And I think that's up to the DJ, obviously, to make sure you can find this formula, you know. Because I actually struggled when there was the disparity of wars with the urban kids and Kizomba. I didn't know what where to put myself because I know that what genre was calling to me. So it's like, what? Now I'm an urban kids person and I don't even know how to dance this. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, who dictates this? Who said this? So I just literally found my way. I found my way, and I basically don't care. I find my way into trying to give a blend of the new, the young, and the old school. But I try to make it as hip as it comes up, like it to bring the moods, to bring the vibes. As long as it's a party, do you know what I mean? Andrea wouldn't complain, you know, because even if she thinks that, oh, this is a graveyard song, but oh my god, it has a, I like it, you know. And this is the thing where some good DJs know how to do it, you know what I mean? And like Foxy was saying, some of the beats were playing, no ghetto zouk. But a lot of the people that come into Kizomba room, they don't even know, because they come from the village where their teachers only play ghetto zouk and slow zouk and all the lovey-dovey. Sorry, I can't say the. I nearly slipped.
You can say it's after 9.
Yeah, I nearly slipped. But I guess, bro, one of the things that actually was cultural shock to me when I came to the UK and I'm trying to promote Kizomba is seeing the people that are trying to go into a salsa party that is advertising SBK and not once listening to Semba, not once listening at the Banca Jazz, not one listening of like a Cabo Zouk proper upper beat tempo. And at some point I have to go in. I didn't even went to say what the hell are you doing? I didn't. But my students that were being educated in Palop culture, they started to complain. They thought I was the guy with just 5 students. When I started to have 30, 40, these people paid to come to this party, they're going to complain.
Okay, so Dixon, you know, he's saying it's not a matter of change. It's, you know, enveloping everything from the past and, you know, making sure we're balanced. Andrea, I think we've alluded to that your musical tastes have changed in part, but you've kept that kind of strong links to the Afrocentric style, would you say?
I would say so. I would say that to me, it's that African rhythm, African instrument, my Angolan heritage, I suppose, calling out to me. I don't know, because obviously it's my DNA and it was before the slave trade. But it's just strange that that's the music that attracted me, the Angolan singers. So when I did my DNA and found out that I did have Angolan heritage, I was really surprised. Nobody else was, but I was. So yeah, that's more. I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's the odd Nelson Fraser, and you know, C4 Pedro, Casamento. I suppose if I hear that, you know, I quite like that song. So it's not that I don't like it. It's just that when you're at a venue and that's all that's played, that type of very slow melodic music, I just think I've got a 2-hour drive home. I need to be up and awake and dancing. Um, so it's this thing that Super Dixon was talking about later. It's running how the DJ runs the evening. So to me, at the beginning of the night of the party, playing the really slow stuff when there's nobody there seems a bit daft to me. But that's just my, you know, if it's mainly women there and there's no men to dance with, why are you playing slow stuff? Play the faster stuff. To start the party going, get it lifted, get it going. And also because they've had the faster tracks maybe in the lesson, they don't want to come out and just be standing on the spot. They want to be practicing their steps that they've done in the dance lesson. And then towards the end of the night, I totally get that people may have coupled up and that's why they've gone out to dance and stuff. But I think I've got a 2-hour drive home. I'd like something a bit more upbeat on my way home, please. You know, send me on my way. But I totally get that there are people there who prefer the slow, you know, slower tempo music. But I'm like Winston, and it doesn't even have to be Semba. You can do some really good. You can dance really well to the more upbeat Kizomba songs. So it doesn't have to be Semba, but I like to be able to move. If I'm leading, which I seem to do the majority of the time, you know, there are things I like to do in the dance. The ladies like to do. They like to dance to the more upbeat songs. So yeah, I I don't know, Gabby.
Yeah,
What do you think? Do you
I
think that it should? Sorry, jump because Gabby's the only other female here. We're slightly outnumbered, so I just wanted to bring Gabby in.
Gabby, save Andrea's bottom, please.
Nothing wrong with my bottom, thank you.
No, I would say I like yeah, I like now I like more upbeat songs. So but also like because I got to know it just in the last probably 2 to 3 years, Coladeira, as Dixon said, because I like the combination of the different instruments that are in there. Is and the fact that it's quite upbeat, but it's an upbeat version of Mona, I think it is, which is quite I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Dixon. I'm not quite sure if that's totally correct. I've just been taught that. Which is more like a type of sad song, but it's got this kind of rhythm in the background, or at least that was the origin. So I kind of like that, and yeah, I kind of like dancing to that beat as well. And then in some cases you can dance to the rhythm of the song, and you can dance to the rhythm of the actual instrument. So it's a good combination, and I think if you like dancing and you start to learn also all those different ways to dance, you kind of get a bit addicted to it, I think, like I have. So
So for sure,
yeah,
your taste has changed. You're definitely now you've gone up
yes,
from gear 2 to 4.
yes, yeah, definitely. When I went to my first dancing festival, which was only 2 years ago, I think I spent most of the night in the Tarascina room, and that was all I did. Um,
Well done, well
now,
done, well done.
now, without promoting any any Simba festivals, but I will go more to Simba festivals rather than
Okay,
Kizomba
so yeah, just be
festival.
wary on
My
yeah,
preference.
wary on
Yeah.
promoting. No,
Yeah,
that's
no,
good, and I think it's fair. I think a lot of people have really kind of changed their musical taste, and they've gone for the more upbeat, more up tempo. Andrew mentioned a couple of points I want to come back to. Start in the evening with the slow stuff is scandalous, and to make it worse, they play the best songs when no one's in the room. You've got just the people from the lesson, and you're hearing all the rippers at the beginning of the night. And there's one DJ in particular, I always tell him off. I said, why are you doing it? Because what's going to happen, you're going to have to play those songs later. It makes no sense. So something good. Yeah, I agree with you, Andrea. Start off with the upbeat, get the mood going, get everyone hyper, slow it down. Then you bring in your kuduro and everything else, and then slow it down again. And then, you know, probably some nice kizomba in between. I wouldn't say too fast at the end, but something, some nice melodic kizomba would do it. So, it's opinion, guys. In the chat, let's see your opinions, because it's very important that we get a
Before you
nice
go to
view. I think
comments,
Dixon wants
Gary,
to come
before you
in.
go to comments, I'm just gonna say this nice and easy. I do agree with Andrea. Starting with a slow BPM is one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of DJs do. But I keep trying to actually educate this so-called DJs that play kizomba that are not from the culture, even some from the culture, but who dictates actually the vibe of the class is the teacher that taught the workshop. And if the teacher is choosing really good tracks, for example, and he chooses to finish with a big bang type of genre, and everybody's uplifting, and you see that that song uplifted the class, the DJ should ride that wave, and it's easy. If he saw, for example, there was the slower upbeat tempo on the second one that worked better with the people, he should be hitting. But most DJs, they just arrive after the workshops. So they don't know what the hell is going on the dance floor just with that beginning touch, for example. That's another
Dixon,
hook.
do they do? To be honest, do they care what's going on? And this is something they may not care. So we this is probably one for another show. But again,
Yeah, Gario,
we
Gario, Gario. I'm
I can
only
see
gonna
the
say
hands up.
this. Gary, I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna drop the bombs over here. Then they should not complain why some of the dance teachers that are also DJs are stealing their jobs or whatever they call it. Maybe just maybe just maybe they know what the people like. Let's hold on to the
Okay,
comments.
okay. Just before we go, Dixon, this is your nugget. Thank you. We hear a lot of the DJs that are solely DJs moaning about teachers that are DJs. I know one, I'm sorry, I have to say he's very good. Despite what others might say, he's good and he played very well the other night when I heard him and he picked up on what he did in the lessons. So fair play to him. He done very well. So that's a good comment. Let's go to the comment section from our lovely crowd. I think we'll start with Dorothy. She says, although I feel there ought to be something for everybody, I guess if I want to go to an urban Kizomba or correction there, Dorothy, don't ever call it urban Kizomba. The Kizomba police will kill you. Urban Kizomba or Afrobeat club, I would, but it's nice to have that little break to jump about. Well, it's a valid comment. It's your choice. Carly is saying music and vibe. I don't know what that's to. Um, again, Carlita, I love Tarashino with the right guy. Yeah. Sophie's saying, look, obviously she's biased, but on radio is a good to hear and it helps spread the genres and stories about them. So yeah, if you play them on radio, unfortunately we don't really have a station at the moment. This is a way of educating and we're going to aim to do that. We want to bring on musical specialists, DJs. That's our aim at some point to do that. So yeah, guys, I mean, but one bugbear I've got, guys, and I know Andrea might hit me. Gabby's from this kind of group now. She might hit me. Winston is also. When I look at the floor and it slows down, I'm sorry, but there's like a rush and the floor is busy. So I don't know. What is it telling us? I mean, Dixon made a good point. Like, this kind of music helped propel what we call Kizomba or the Kizomba umbrella into a different stratosphere, really. Yeah. We know everyone likes the Semba and everything, but really what brought the attention, as Dixon rightly said, is probably more of the Ghetto Zoot line, nice Kizomba. So quickly, I want to know from you guys, do you agree that the slower tracks brings people to the floor as opposed to the Semba? Just in
brings the
a
men to the floor, shall we? Because we all, yeah.
brings the men to the floor, so I guess they're dancing on their own. Winston, what about you?
That's not what I'm saying, Gary, and you know it. But I have to say as well that we do have to remember that a lot of people come into London from outside of London, and the slower stuff is the only stuff that is being played at their events because people don't know. I mean, Gabby and I have danced sort of along the south coast, and people definitely in the early days, mid days, I would say, didn't know that there was any other type of music than ghetto zouk, and so that's all people heard at the parties. So when they came to London, it was familiar to them. So those were the songs that they danced to. They thought anything that was slightly fast was Semba, and they couldn't dance to it. They didn't realise that it was Kizomba. So just sort of saying that it's not necessarily that people like that, but that's the music that the only music they've been exposed to, so they're familiar with it, so they will dance. But also, I would say that a lot of men have, and I'm not saying it's just men, a lot of people have gone out to find a partner, find, whatever. And that's why they like dancing to the slow stuff. because you maybe don't have that connection when you're doing samba.
Well, I will take exception to some of the things you say.
I
Like
know you will, Gary. That's the whole point.
a lot of people in London, you know, before the advent of urban, let's say, we were majority of us were dancing to the slower tracks in these events, and they weren't outsiders. They weren't majority outside. These were London people, proper dancers, as we used to call it, that were
Time has moved on, Gary. Time has moved
Yeah,
on.
it's moved on. It's moved on, but I don't think it's just for people that that's like me saying the fast tracks of people that want to show off. I don't think that's fair to say maybe it's for males that are looking for a partner.
I said
It's like me
people.
saying,
I said people, Gary. But if the cat
well,
fits,
people, it doesn't matter. People, males, people show. I could say people do fast tracks for showing off. Yeah.
Ding ding.
you can say that. You can, because that's what samba's about.
Well, I think you're
Round two.
I think you're really doing it a disservice. I have to fight the corner.
Well,
Hey,
can I
let's
just say
go, let's
something?
go, let's
Gary-O.
go. I love
Can I
it.
say
I
something?
love it.
There's with the DJ, right, has got a lot of power and a lot of control. Yeah. So he's got to take us on a journey. And so at times, if you're playing, for example, Afro beats and the floor starts to empty, then he needs to bring something else on to make the floor full. And if it means he's got to play slower type of music, get a zouk, tarashit, fine. You get people on the floor by playing that, but later on you change it. Then you might make it mid-tempo or fast. So you take us on a ride. Yeah. There is a place for slow music. Undoubtedly, people like a hug. That's why we do Kizomba. You like a hug. Bottom
There you
line.
go.
Right? Nothing
There you
wrong
go.
with that. We all like anybody that says they don't like a hug, then you got something wrong with you. We all like a hug.
You know which country live in, brother?
Well, there you go. Right?
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
But I can't say nothing.
No,
but we all like a hug.
Too much close. Too much close. No.
we like a hug. But, take us on a journey. So Andrew made a valid point, and this is one of my bugbears, is that I go to classes, we learn a routine, and the class finishes, right, we want to now go, and we want to go practice. And they play slow Kizomba or Tarashina, and you're like, sometimes you look at the DJ like, did you not hear how are we going to practice? And then he stays on that for half an hour. And then you then try to remember the routine you just learned, you've forgotten it. Yeah? Because they've now gone off. And I can't understand it. Sometimes I see DJs, they're playing the music, but they're just on their phone. They're not looking at the crowd. They're looking at their phone and text message. You're not looking at the crowd to see what's going on. And for me, that's what really gets up my bloody nose. Look at the floor and read the crowd. Take us on a journey. Play fast at the beginning, please. Right? Later on, when the night's finishing, play slow because people want to hug up. They want to go home and feel contented.
No, I agree. I think start of the fast. I think we all agree at the start. Let's go fast. My only thing I want to say is from my experience, and I've had to start recording it. This is how bad it is. In one particular event, I keep saying it to the organizer, and he's trying to deny it. So I've actually started recording it, and the results are there to see. When it's slow, it definitely is busier and it gets packed out. Not to say we don't like the faster tempo. Dorothy's disagreed with me. She's saying in her point of view that it's the samba that fills the floor. I'm not so sure. I don't think that from my point of view, but there you go. We need to crack on, guys, to the next question, and it's going to be very direct, and I'm going to go to Gabby first. Nail your colors to the masts. From the umbrella, give me the two types that you like.
Samba.
Samba is number one.
And then I would say, if I could decide at the moment, it will probably be Afrobeat if it's in the umbrella.
Wow, there you go. Foxy, what about you?
Semba, definitely, then Kizomba.
Super Dixon,
Didn't I answer this already?
you're going to answer again? Direct, straight, boom.
Two, only two.
I already answered, but I said it. I love
Two.
Ghetto Zouk,
Simple.
and I like some samba. I like the
Good.
fast and slow lane. But I just wanted to say something controversial, Foxy, earlier on. It's something that I do disagree, and then one of the things I still don't understand is that you learn a routine, and the thing is, if you know how to master that routine, you can apply that routine to any tempo. So
Yeah, but
for
that's
me,
not
for
the point.
example, just because
That's-
the DJ is playing certain beats, it doesn't matter that I'm going to dance. Imagine even Tarashinha sometimes, if the song has a kick tempo, I will not grind the whole song. I will try to be more creative and try to use different
That's true.
contratempos of samba.
That's
yeah,
true.
but then
That's true.
if they're
Foxy,
playing
Foxy,
Ding,
Foxy,
ding, ding, ding.
I do bear in
Ding,
mind
ding.
that my baseline to dance is pasada, and I think
Yeah.
one of the biggest mistakes in dance schools is people are not learning enough pasada.
No,
So
but the
that's why
routine.
there's always a big gap. Whereas Ghetto Zouk speed Tarashinha, and you have Semba, which is more obviously Kizomba or into Semba faster. You know, the funniest things that nobody knows, Tarashinha beat is on 100 beats per minute. You can easily mix a Tarashinha upbeat tempo, which is always upbeat tempo. Tarashinha is not slow, it's always fast. A lot of people don't
No,
know that. It's on 100 beats.
there's
And you can
times
mix
where
it
you
with a
could.
slow Semba.
We have to agree to disagree because, like I said,
Yeah, of
there's
course,
been
of course, of
times
course.
when
I
they
think we
will
can ding,
play
ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding.
the lesson will give you a tempo that you're going to dance mid-tempo speed or fast, and then
Yes.
they play something slow. I'm going to look like an
Yeah.
idiot dancing fast to this slow music. So you're not going to do
Yeah,
that. You
and
end up doing the same pace
that we
as
agree, and that we
the
agree.
music dictates.
And that we agree. I said it earlier that the
Yeah.
DJ should know what's going on in the class. They should arrive
Yeah.
before the class. At least the last class is the most important before the event. They should arrive 30 minutes before or even an hour to see what's going on, to see
Yeah.
what's the vibe. I agree with that. I said that earlier,
Yeah.
but I'm saying is that even when the night is going into it, even some genres that are slower, I can tell you I'm not gonna grind the whole time. No way. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna get creative with the moves here and there, different ways of keep walking and dancing. But I guess that's something for another show. Continue, Gary.
Yeah.
Let's go. We have a few minutes. Let's go.
Well, yeah, Dixon, we asked you for two, and it's gone into another show. Andrea,
I just wanted to, bro. I just wanted to say to Foxy, I didn't agree. That's all. And
that's
I
fair
think the
enough.
show,
It's all about opinions, Dixon. We're happy with that.
yes, my brother. Yes, we don't need to agree.
Andrea, quickly, your two choices:
Kizomba and Semba.
Kizomba and Semba. Now, that's very interesting. It's a Semba leaning group here. We'll go to the comments quickly. Sophie, she said, I loved Semba music from the start when I started going to Kizomba nights, and I always loved how the dynamic of the night can change from fast to slow and back, but also see no problem if people gather just to dance a particular way. That's what they want, and that's fine. Dorothy saying, Gario, my point was if I'm at a Kizomba party or club, it's because I want to dance Kizomba. If I want to dance other dances, I will take myself there. However, it's nice to have some Tarashinha and all the others. Winston Fox, I love a good hug, but you remember the trouble you got me into. Ha ha.
No, I didn't get her into any trouble. It said it got me into. I didn't get her into trouble. But
okay, so
that's offline.
We need to move on because we got a dance performer teacher who could be in trouble.
It's nothing to do with me. I'm an innocent party. I'm not going
This
to
is the
comment.
court.
Nothing to.
This
Dorothy,
is the court.
why did you mention that?
This is, guys, listen. It's really funny. It's really funny, guys. Come on. Okay. Dorothy, I've got a bone to pick with it because we don't really have specific nights. They used to now and again back in the day have. I remember going to 229 and had an extreme Tarashina night. That was Iris. The DJ. I remember his name, but he just disappeared. DJ. I know his name. I can't remember, but he actually disappeared.
Soares. No,
Sorry.
not Wilson. Soares.
No, not him. I can't remember his name now, but it will come back to me. But he disappeared. We do have the odd Sember night at O'Neill's. They have a Sember night, which, like you said, if you know what you're going to get into, but they don't really have a specific club for a specific type of music. We've got Nzinga nights, Club Nollywood. You know what you're going to get there, the higher tempo stuff. So it might appeal to that.
It's not just higher tempo; it's a mix. But she likes higher tempo, but the DJs play a mix of music.
But it's leaning towards that. It's fair to say it's leaning towards that. Right. So, Andrea, you can correct me, but it's leaning towards that. Yeah. Okay. And what I'd want to ask next, Gabby, when you go to a club, do you find that the organizers and DJs, how many times out of 10 would you say they get it wrong? And why? So you go to an event and you think, oh my God, why have they done that? They played it the wrong way around. They should have been faster at the beginning. It's too fast at the end. This is too long. It's too much of that. Isn't enough of this. Have you encountered that quite a lot? Would you say it's the majority of times you go out and they get it wrong in your eyes, your personal opinion?
No. Always
No.
very happy with the music.
Okay.
I don't go to lesson as much as I used to. So I don't notice if they basically change the songs after the lesson, so I can't comment on that. But no, I'm normally very happy because I go to different parties and they got quite a variety of music. And I would say also, according to different DJs, you know most of the time which type of music you can expect. So after a while that you're going dancing, you know roughly the type of music they're going to play, what they're most likely to play. So you can then decide to go to a party instead of another one, depending on your taste. But the music is played for everyone, so it's only right that they play a variety of music.
And for me, it's all about balance. I 100% think balance is the key. That's how Andrew's going to tell me off, but like the old English say, in my day, it was just wonderful. Sorry, Andrea, did I say something wrong?
No, Gary, you sounded so cocky, bro. In my day.
You're trying to gaslight me, and I'm going to ignore it.
Again, these wonderful terms that have come into life nowadays, gaslighting. And, we just really need to do a separate show on that. She's going to call me a narcissist in a minute. So, guys, I think that in our day it was really balanced, and I think that balance is gone. Foxy, do you find that organizers? I know you do actually. Do you find that organizers and the DJs can get it very wrong? Or actually, let's expand on that, because sometimes
let me explain my
organizer actually employs a DJ that can make the night wrong and he doesn't balance it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they get it wrong. It's just that, remember, each club is catering for a slightly different market. So if I go to Chocolate, I expect to hear a lot of Get Us Up Tarashina. The crowd are happy, the place is full. So he's not getting it wrong, he's getting it right for that market. So if I go there, I have to expect that's what I'm going to hear, right? So I'll go there and I'll enjoy it because that's what I know I'm going to have. If I go to other venues, if I go to O'Neill's, I would expect it to be a mixed night. I know I'm going to get a segment of Afro, Fanana, whatever, at certain points in the night. I know I'm going to get Us Up Tarashina, and I expect to hear a proportion of Semba. If I got to Jenna, same thing. I'd expect to have a balance. So I wouldn't say they get it wrong. I think the issue is whenever the DJ is playing, that's key, and you must read the floor. So, recently we had two DJs that came at the last weekend, and they were on fire. They read the floor and they had it going. They had nice tempo all the way through. They played excellently. They read the floor. And that's what my issue is. Sometimes the DJs don't read the floor, or sometimes the promoter has told the DJ to play in a certain way and have held them stuck, if you like, in that
To
format.
ransom.
And that's what I don't like. I think the professional DJs, they should have the freedom to take the crowd on a journey to a certain extent. If you're aiming for Semba crowd, for example, when you're going to play majority Semba, I wouldn't expect the DJ then to play Tarashina, because the promoter said I want to hear this. But I think the DJ must have some type of authority about what he's going to play and how he's going to play it, and introduce people to new music, because often that doesn't happen. They play the same old thing, So introduce us to new music. Bring back some of the old favorites that we might not have known, but you're going to touch it and, I didn't know that track. And then you Shazam it. It's an old track. So to me, it's the DJ got to take us on a ride. So let the promoter have whatever night they want to have. And obviously down to what size club you have as well. But let the DJs do their job. Let them. I've been to places before where the promoters told the DJs to play in a certain way. And I've gone to the DJs and said, what's going on? I've not heard not one Semba track the whole night. And they said, well, Winston, this is because this is the situation. And I said, yeah, but this is a Kizomba event. How can you just limit it to that the whole night? You're going to play like that, So sometimes it's not the DJ, it's the promoter that has limited them. But I don't think they get it terribly wrong. As I said, I think it's not easy. It is not easy.
Well, this is what I was going to say. As a DJ, I've done a bit, and believe me, some of these guys, they come out with a set in mind, and they might need to change that on the fly. And it's,
of course,
Dixon will know, it's not easy just to say, right, and you wouldn't. This is where you earn your money. I would then go into my library and start putting out tracks. That means you need to know a hell of a lot of tracks, because you'll go with a kind of set idea of what your set's going to be, and if you need to drastically change that in a night, it's very difficult to get the flow and everything. So, I'll hand my hands up. I've done it before. I've done a bit of DJing before. It's not easy, and I think these guys, they do need to take us on a journey. And you made some very good points about influence from the organizer. It's I've done the same. I've gone up to my main guy. I will name him. I've gone up to my G Souza and I said, Gonzalo, what the hell are you doing? And he just looked at me with a sad face, with handcuffs on. What can I do? And it's
promoter.
Again, it's the organizer. It's their night. Andrew can tell us, excuse me, I would like this kind of vibe for my night. And we have to accept that. So it's Andrew, do you think you run your night? Do you think the DJs and yourself as an organizer, do you think you get it wrong on occasions, or do you think, in your experience,
DJs don't? No, I'm not really. They know the music that I like. We have great conversations. We would talk about things. They know, and I pick DJs to work with whose music I like. I wouldn't go and pick a DJ where I don't like their music. I wouldn't pick a DJ that I don't like their vibe. Ivandro, I'd known from Nomads, and Wilco I'd known from various venues, and I've known him a long time. And we all had the same ethos. We all had the same mission statement. We all want to do the same thing. So I didn't pick people who were opposed to my vision, because that'd be daft. There's no point me employing somebody whose only knowledge or only liking is for playing the slower music or ghetto zouk or whatever. So I was really lucky. I was able to find two DJs who played the music, who understood, two Angolans, and that who had the same feeling, the same experiences as I had, and want to play this, wanted to play the same music. I wouldn't pick somebody who, say, someone, and I'm not saying anything against people from Santa May, but their music is different, and they like a different vibe. It's not the same vibe as the vibe that I like. So I picked the DJs that played the music I liked, but I gave them free reign. I never went. The only time is if maybe I thought the Afrobeats was going on for a bit long, but generally I trusted them to play good music, and they do. They are just
Okay.
two of the best DJs going.
Okay. I mean, I think sometimes we need to just understand that they are professionals. We've got to give them free reign, but we also know a lot of them play for themselves. And this is what I've experienced. And I think it's a
Not
big
those two.
balance.
Not those two.
No, that's good. It's good if you can find.
They care about the dancers, and they care about the dance floor, and they want to keep the dance floor full. So they're continually watching the floor, seeing when people are walking off and when people are coming back on. So they're two very professional DJs.
Okay, guys, big shout to Ivandra Bravo and Wilco Mix because Andrew's 100% confidence in them. As I said, I feel like we just need to be careful because, apart from those two, some can play for themselves, some don't watch the floor. We had a comment earlier from one of the panelists. They were on their phone. They weren't even reading the floor. They were on their phone. So, guys, this is
They're friends.
Dixon, tell me something. We're going to the low reaches of the show now. You do all parts of the night. Do you believe you've got it wrong as an organizer and thought, oh bloody hell, I shouldn't have done that, or I should have told the DJ this, or when you're DJing yourself, you think, oh. And I've heard you DJ. I think you're right at, what the floor needs. I can vouch for you on that. So do you think you've got it wrong in either area?
If I may say, as an organizer, I had moments in this case going back to Plymouth where I knew which crowd I was going to get that specific event. I knew exactly which crowd I was going to get, so I knew exactly what type of music we needed to do to keep them, like to keep the different type of people that were coming to the event. And I remember the guest DJ that I had, I gave them some cues, and I specifically said, tonight, do not play this specific genre. Like, just don't go there. Stay on this lane. You'll be just fine. But as I am the host, obviously, of my nights, and I would be the DJ as well, I would open for them so that they can see what type of vibe I was playing, so that they can either emulate and go either crazier, or, again, the free range of the madness. You know what I mean? Because some DJs can pick up that vibe. Ooh, I can do crazy stuff. And I had guest DJs that did an amazing job. But this specific one, I remember that I was literally coordinating the event, and I came back to the room, and the everybody was sat down, and I was like, I could hear that specifically sound that I said that I don't think that I specifically recommended that he didn't play that set for the night. And he was playing it. I looked at him and I was like, he's like, are you joking? I actually said, are you joking?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm a DJ. I know what to play, bro. This is my night. He said, I specifically told you not to do that. I knew if we played that genre, it would demolish the dance floor. Do you know what I mean? The fact that the DJ didn't listen, you know what I mean? In the end of the day, lucky for me, I didn't put him to play last. I was the one who's going to finish the night. Do you know what I mean? So when I came on, I literally pick up the pace of it, and I put the vibe in where it should be, because I knew my customers. You know what I mean? But on the other edge, I think it happened recently in an event where it was Urban Kids and Kizomba, and I'm not gonna lie, especially here in London, I know I can be very versatile in the genres here and there, but I think the Urban Kids new crowd, they are into some new vibe that I'm not very, like, how can I say, I'm not very accustomed to. So I actually struggled to try to keep my vibe. But the set was good though. But because of the disparity of the new generation versus the old school generation versus the, like, not old school generation, the Kizomba generation. it can go from so many ages. So I did struggle with the trying to balance out in these two genres. But when I play an event, like in a festival, I'm listening to the DJ set, and I'm already thinking I'm about to smash this guy. I'm about to hit different, But that's because I have that hip hop DJ drive to, I want to play me. So, but I'm not gonna lie. For that specific gig, I should have done my homework better, and that's what it is about. Like as a DJ, you need to do your homework, and you need to
I think so.
um, you need to. I learned something from Rico Suave, which was we were in Egypt, and he taught me one of the best things ever that helped me drive my Kizomba vibe, which is jejun. Sometimes you need to give some BS to the organizer. It's not gonna be there anyway, and you just slide in the tracks anyway, and the people react to it, and it's like,
yeah.
But again, you need to know how. You need to. It's a DJ needs to be versatile and adapt to the system. And obviously, when you're in an event where the organizer doesn't know what is samba, what is the difference between Kizomba genre, the Kizomba umbrella, bro, you can get away with murder without even saying nothing, and the feedback is good. But again, it's a tough job.
Thank you, Dixon. We really need to look at closing down now. So I'm going to ask one quick last question to you guys. We'll go to Gabby first. I'm stirring it up a little bit here. I'm a bit naughty here. What upsets you most about music at a particular event? Is it, I know you said you enjoy, in the places you go, you enjoy the music. Some people just love to be out. They just love going to events. And for me, music is the most important thing. If the music's slightly off, I'm like a bear with a sore head. So you told us that you're kind of fine with all the music. And we've got a comment coming from one of our DJs, Diego Silva. He is very, very intelligent when it comes to music and sound engineering. So we're going to come to that. We'll come back to that in a second.
Shout out for Diego. Don Diego. Bang up DJ.
Gabby, can you just, clarify if you have any kind of upsets about the nights, or you, as you said earlier, you're fine with all the music that you hear?
No, I don't find that, I don't get upset. I so much looking forward, like not to the driving, but to get to the place and get to do what I like. So yeah, apart from the driving, then as soon as
You're
I'm
happy?
in, I'll just, I'm happy.
Good. Winston Foxy.
Yeah.
I know because we've spoken, we've seen ourselves with our own eyes in what we do.
Yeah.
What upsets you most about the selection of the DJ or what they do? So this is part promoter, part DJ.
I think for me, the biggest thing that upsets me is when the DJ's selfish and they're not playing for the crowd. They're playing either for themselves or for the group of friends that have come around them that might be on the stage with them. And they're playing, they're having their own party, and they're like, hang on, you're not looking at all the people on the floor.
Yeah, we've got 200 people there.
Do something for us.
It's true.
So that's my biggest bugbear, is when they're playing for themselves and not playing for the audience.
Yeah, and I tend to agree. Andrea, we kind of know your view. You're more clever than most of us. You select the DJs that will carry out what you want them to do. So I think you kind of get it right in what you're doing. So, Dixon, do you have any bugbears about this or Andrea?
Let Andrea speak. Hello.
No, I'm saying or Andrea. I did say or Andrea. Do you have any bugbears about this?
Told me what I thought and what I do, which you don't know.
I'm going by your previous answer.
I'm saying if I go to an event, the one thing that upsets me more than anything is when the songs get cut. If you're going to play a song, play a song. But I agree with Winston. It's when you look at the DJ and you realise that they're not paying attention to who's out on the dance floor. But my main bugbear is please learn to mix well. Don't jump from a slow song to a fast song. Can you take us on that journey to that end song? Don't be jumping from a fast one. Or that's the other thing, is that you'll be doing, they'll have the Afro beats and the kuduro and everything, and then suddenly we go down to a really slow Tarashinya song, and it's like literally it's like falling down out of the sky. Could you let's just have a little journey, like
Transition.
a wave.
Smooth
A
transition. Yeah.
smooth transition from one genre to the other, or from one tempo to another. The best DJs that I know will take us on that journey. They'll take us up, they'll take us down, but you won't realize, but you'll like that wave. So yeah.
Thank you, Andrea. Dixon, quickly before we go to Diego's comment.
Yeah, Diego's comment was amazing. Oh my God, yeah, I can't wait for you to go to that. Don Diego just left it, boom, and dropped the mic on the comments to finish the show, which I think is really important what he's gonna say. But for me, I'm not gonna lie. I'm on the other edge of Andrea and Foxy. My biggest turn off is when I go to a party and they're playing obviously a fast tempo the whole night, like the whole night. They slow down and play a slow beat for 2 songs or 3 songs. And I'm talking about DJing half of each song and then go back to the same drilling BPM, you know what I mean? And I'm like, is this a joke? You know what I mean? For me, that's but this is Kizomba, bro. I can lecture any of them in any given time. There should be a balance. You know what I mean? When people say it's what's on the tin, then they don't understand what Kizomba is. And I think it should not be fast tempo the whole night. It needs to be like we've been talking the whole show. And I think it's I think it's unanimous between all of us. It needs to be a good balance. It needs to be a good journey. And different DJs like I'm already saying what Diego said, but anyway, I think my bugbear is what'd you call it? What you said it again?
Bugbear.
Yeah, that. Like I said, is a DJ that is playing fast tempo, and I've been in some events where I'm looking at the DJ, and I'm actually like, as a dance teacher, they don't understand. If I'm not DJing at that event, I don't need to be in the room. So especially when you're in an SBK event, I just go in Rome and go dance bachata, go dance salsa. When the DJ doesn't know what he's doing, I don't have to be there. You know what I mean? It's like,
you do
you, mate. But for me,
I think
too much fast tempo. I'm on Garrio's team on that one. Too much fast tempo, dude. Play for yourself.
And I also think, just in finishing, I think when you keep it in short bursts, I think it's more enjoyable. And also the last thing I want to add, maybe I'm wrong, but the kind of faster tracks, the Semba and the faster Kizomba you hear abroad, in Lisbon, for example, or maybe you guys can tell me, Andrew in Angola or whatever, it's like a different world. So maybe this is why, from my point of view, when I'm here, I don't really feel that, but it's probably because of the tracks. When you hear it in Lisbon, it's like, yeah, I'm going crazy, like I didn't know I could dance, but anyway, we go to Diego's comment. He says promoters might have the best intentions, but most don't necessarily know or have the experience on how to read the crowd and the floor. So personally, I think DJs should have the freedom to do their art, take the crowd on a journey, and play a good balance of genres, trying to cater for everyone during the night. Sometimes that journey would be different depending on the crowd they have in front of them. And I think he's made a very good point there, but I always look on the balance just before we finish. What about these egotistical DJs that say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do? We still have to be wary. We give them kind of free reign, but we need, and as Andrew said, actually, I will hire a DJ that will play what I like and what my vision is, what my mission statement is. So I think we just need to maybe look at, and we have to call them organizers. We need to stop calling them promoters. They're organizers. They're organizing a night. And Diego's not being disrespectful, but a lot of them, their skill set is to bring people together, to organize or to sell a night. They're not really, not all of them, but they're not really into the musical side in the sense of DJing. So, we've got one or two that are DJs themselves, Dixon, Saeed. We got people that are DJs. So I think we just need to be wary of that. But a good point. Anyway, the time has come to say good night. We'll go round to our panel and hosts for the last comment. Gabby?
What I would say is that we all like different things, different genres of music. So it's probably also quite difficult for the DJs to understand the crowd and try to make everyone happy. So I would say that a variety of music normally is the best option. So you make everyone happy, but that's just my personal opinion.
Okay, variety is a spice of life. Foxy?
Yeah, variety is a spice of life, 100%. And please read the floor is my message. Read the floor, play variety, and also we haven't really touched on it. Don't destroy the sound, because often you be on the dance floor and the DJ doesn't realize he's pushed the knobs up so high it's distorting on the dance floor, it's deafening your ears. So be conscious of, if you've got a monitor, you can hear it sounds by you, but also make sure it's not distorting on the ground. That's my 2 pence worth.
No, I tend to agree that. Thank you, Foxy. Super Dixon, quickly, keep it short. Round up what you think. Last comment.
Well, yeah, like I said, it was a great show. Sorry, I'm really tired, man. Sorry.
We
Yeah,
all are.
man.
We all are.
I think for me, like I said from the beginning, I think I like to go to an event that for me, what says on the tin is Kizomba. Kizomba means party. And I'm coming to this event. I want to party. I want to celebrate. I want to drink. I want to have a good environment from the beginning to the end. Like Ella, if the vibe is good, I'm staying to the end. If the vibe is not good, where's the other party? Where's the postcode of that party? You said I'm going to the other party. Do you know what I mean? I'm not staying. I'm that old school cat like that, man. And I hope a lot of people when they watch this show and they rewatch the show, they understand that it's like the vital of the vibe. That the people also come to the event with that party expectation. Do you know what I mean? And not expectations of music, just a party vibe, energy. I mean, and again, big shout out for all the DJs and a lot of promoters that keep doing that. They're keeping doing exactly what they love to do. As long as their customers are happy, man, good job. That's it.
Thank you, Dixon. Andrea, in closing.
I agree with everything everybody said. I mean, you pay your money, you take your choice. You don't go to a party or an event expecting one thing and then moaning because they're doing what it says on the tin. I absolutely agree with that. So that I wouldn't go to a bachata night and then when they're not playing Kizomba. Some people, so you choose where you want to go, and I think that the DJs out there have a really hard job. They get criticised, for not playing that. Not me particularly, but I want to hear sort of thing. That's the sort people say. But if you know your DJs, follow them, support them. If they're playing somewhere, go and follow that DJ. Go to the event that they're playing at because they need our
Support the
support.
DJs, yes.
You absolutely support the DJ because, and as I remember saying to somebody a long time ago, is we all had to start somewhere in our particular speciality, whatever it was. So yes, DJs have an off night. I may have an off night dancing if something's going on in my life. Be kind to the DJs. But I would say that if it happens on a regular basis, then maybe, you need to rethink. But support our DJs because without them, we can't have the parties. So we're not necessarily knocking the DJs that we know and we love and we've grown up with. Everybody knows me. I'll drive all over the country going to events to support DJs and things. So we need to be supported. And the people who live outside of London. You know, I went to an event last night. It was last night outside of London. You know, so support events. I saw Winston there. So, you know, support people who are trying to do something outside of London. London's not the only dance centre of the world. And without the smaller venues or the clubs outside of London, they're not going to feed into London. People aren't going to be making that journey. So we need to be united as a society, as a community. We need to be uniting, and that means events outside of London. I know it's not easy to travel. People often don't have cars, and I'm lucky I've got a car, and I don't mind driving 2 hours, 3 hours to get to an event. But I know some people can't do that. But if you can, support the Kizomba community. It can only grow that and get better.
Thank you, Andrew. And everyone echoes those sentiments.
When the DJ does a good job, don't forget to say thank you. Tell him that it was good.
Thank him at the end of the night. Yes,
we do.
There are lazy DJs out there. We must remember that. So yeah, thank the DJ at the end of the night.
I think we tend to do that if they really have a stormer. But I'm also one for telling them off when they don't. So Gonzalo Souza is in the building. The main man. Dorothy said you're my favorite DJ still. You play well. He's getting a lot of love. Gonzalo, you know you're my man. So big up to you, my man. Yeah, and I think we'll leave it at that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. That is it for tonight. We will see you soon, and we will look forward to some changes and some upgrades to our show. Good night, everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And thank you to the panel and the hosts. And keep dancing.
Ciao.
It's a preschool side.
Adeus.
Bye-bye.
Ciao,
ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao. Bye.
Bye.
Subina bagine, subina bagnatela.